and wildlife, family-friendly attractions, and championship golf courses. So, if you're up for Florida this season, book now at flyilm.com.
Kind of unravel that fast. And I guess, the thing that kind of is shocking, set the trade aside for a second, Q, the shocking thing is they really didn't give it time to work.
Right.
The Mavericks basically said, we don't need to see a year's worth of this team. We don't need to see more time of Anthony Davis. This is a colossal failure. We're ready to call it that colossal failure, and we don't need to see any more. Now, were the Mavericks off to a good start this season? Absolutely not, and that's kind of what predicated it. But, when sometimes you have these franchise-altering or moving type of trades, you have a little bit of runway to see if it'll actually work, and obviously the Mavericks don't feel that way. And then what happened with this trade, the theories that how it went down, why it went down, it's all crazy. It's all flooding out now. The only thing that we do know is Nico Harrison's not the GM of the Mavericks anymore.
I just don't understand how it ended up into this season. I mean, I think everyone who had a pulse knew that was a bad idea when they made that trade. And I know that Anthony Davis is a heck of a defender, but you can remember, I'm sure, the look on Jason Kidd's face when he first took the podium after that trade. I mean, he looked like he was sick. He looked like he had lost his longtime girlfriend, right? I mean, you know how it is when you got a homeboy in high school that's been going with his girl the whole time they've been in high school, and they just get about to graduate, and all of a sudden she breaks up with him and leaves him for some other dude, and just got that look of sick on his face. That's how Jason Kidd looked. He had just lost his best friend and everything. It was gone. And then you remember the reaction that the fan base had. I've covered sports, watched sports, been a fan of sports for a very long time, right? I have never, ever seen a fan base take a coffin to the stadium or the arena or the ballpark and basically having a funeral outside like they were for Nico and chanting, fire Nico as much as they were. Right. I mean, Maverick fans were, it was bad, man. It was like a protest of the GM. And I'm not saying you just make moves because the fan base is upset. I just never see a fan base that upset like we saw when Luka got traded to the Lakers.
Oh, they were ruthless. And then what did Nico come out and say after where he goes, I didn't know Luka was that important to the fan base. Wait, what?
And that right there should have been what fired him.
Exactly.
That right there is what should have fired him. The minute he said he didn't know that he was that important to the fan base, that's when you should have known he doesn't know his product. Right?
And you're right, Q. It's you don't make moves to the fan base. You don't make because, hey, this guy sells a lot of jerseys, you like him. But, no, literally, he is a franchise cornerstone. He is your franchise. You talked about the girl and they break up with the guy. Isn't it awkward when you don't see those two together? You're oh, that's right, they broke up because you're so used to seeing him with her with him, or whatever. It's I'm watching the Lakers right now. It's weird to still see Luka in a Lakers uniform. It just is. And, for all the fallout here, for Patrick Newman to come out and say that this decision was critical to move our franchise forward in a positive direction, that sounds like a cleansing. That sounds like there's no way for us to actually move past it. There's nothing you can do to take it back. We, as a franchise, cannot move forward with him around here because every time you see him, you think of that trade. And we can't have that anymore. We just can't.
Look, they thought it was going to bail him out by getting the number 1 overall pick, right? Winning the draft lottery, ended up with Cooper Flagg, which is a great player. I think he's going to be great when it's all said and done. But you said it. They've won 3 games so far this season. So enough is enough when it came to Nico, and he's gone. He's Matt Fontana. I'm Q Myers. It's Game Night on ESPN Radio on the all-new ESPN app. In the NFL, you're 7-2 and you're leading your division, and you're still not happy? How is that possible? That's next here on Game Night on ESPN Radio, the all-new ESPN app.
Coming up on the Thursday edition of Unsportsmanlike with Evan Cole, Michelle Smallman, and me, Chris Canty. I'll tell you which playoff contenders are facing must-win games this weekend. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on September 24, 2016, when Tulsa found themselves down 31-0 to Fresno State with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Tulsa fought back to tie the game at 41. And then won 48-41 in double overtime.
ServPro, like it never even happened. This college football payback is brought to you by Venmo.
The year was 2010. The date, November 6th. The Kansas Jayhawks were down 45-17 with 14:52 left in the game. The Jayhawks exploded to score the final 35 points to capture the largest comeback in Jayhawk history, winning 52-45. Freshman running back James Sims scored 4 tuds, including the game winner with 52 seconds remaining.
Brought to you by Venmo. This football season, score more with Venmo.
The Rich Eisen Show.
I'm not going to go into any details, but I'm just going to tell you that the league pass situation changed this year, and you can manipulate your location a little bit. And so I have. And now I can watch the Nuggets games. And so now I can watch Nikola freaking Jokic. If anybody asks, Rich, I live in Bozeman, Montana.
Ryan Woodhorst, everybody.
The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
Saturday, tune into SEC Network for a full day of SEC football coverage, starting at 9 a.m. with Marty and McGee and SEC Nation. Then, it's an SEC afternoon doubleheader, followed by SEC Saturday night under the lights. Later, break down the day's action with SEC football final postgame. All-day SEC football coverage begins Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on SEC Network and stream on the all-new ESPN app.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen. Coming up Wednesday, Kurt Warner's weekly breakdown of the best and not so best from the week in the NFL, plus brand new power rankings. Wednesday on The Rich Eisen Show on Disney Plus, the ESPN app, and ESPN Radio.
The push to the playoff continues with a colossal SEC on ABC doubleheader.
This time of the year, the victory is the most important thing.
At 3:30 p.m. Eastern, number 11 Oklahoma battles number 4 Alabama in Tuscaloosa, presented by Burger King. Then, in primetime under the lights, number 10 Texas heads to Athens to face number 5 Georgia, presented by Capital One.
A big game for both teams, major college football playoff and SEC implications.
Peloton Statement Saturday at 3:30 and 7:30 Eastern on ABC, also streaming on the ESPN app.
The Fantasy Focus Football Podcast.
Selling high is just such an interesting conversation, regardless of who it is. Everyone has a different line.
Yeah.
Am I willing to continue to hold? Do I think that there's more here? Do I just want to get out because I don't believe in it?
Check it out on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast.
Last year, thank you for the ring, but it's a new season. It's not about winning, you guys. I want to win, yes, but I help contribute as well.
AJ plays a pivotal role in what we've been and what we've done, and so we just have to continue to grow with that. I know he's talked about having a growth mindset. We just need that mentality as we go throughout this season and try and get to where we're trying to go.
They won with this particular version of the show.
Some people thrive in chaos, right?
They certainly clearly do, and I think they need it. If it's quiet, then maybe there's a problem.
NFL that's comfortable with being uncomfortable, I would say it's the Philadelphia Eagles. And who's the leading of the charge when it comes to that? One A.J. Brown. It's game night on ESPN Radio, the all-new ESPN app. SiriusXM Channel 80 and tune in. We are presented by Progressive Insurance alongside Matt Fontana. I'm Q Myers, and Matt, this sounds like the story that never goes away. And I don't know if the Eagles actually have a problem with the story not going away, but it's a continuous story of A.J. Brown, and is he happy? Is he not happy? What is it going to take to make him happy? The guy has 31 catches on the season for 408 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's on pace to finish with 867 receiving yards. It would be a career low. But if you look at the grand scheme of things, the Eagles are 7-2 and in first place in the NFC East. So I ask you, what's the problem?
He's a receiver, wants the ball. I get it. And the thing is, it's not even just that A.J. Brown isn't getting the ball. Philadelphia is only 25th in the NFL in passing yards per game. Arizona's ahead of them. New Orleans is ahead of them. So it's not like they're throwing the ball a lot to Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith. It's like nobody's getting the ball. And I guess it's just a little different, Q, on how the Eagles want to do it. It's not necessarily trying to turn this into a tush-push type of debate or anything like that.
Right.
They run that different type of offense. They have Saquon Barkley, and it's looked different. It has. And I think maybe that's kind of what A.J. Brown is bothered with, because they went out and won a Super Bowl last year. Was he a massive piece of that? No, he's a pretty big piece of it. So maybe he had higher expectations this season that, hey, they'll open it up. They're going to throw it a little bit more. And that's not been the case. But to your exact point, they're 7-2. They have, basically a 4-game lead in the division. I mean, the Cowboys are 3-5-1, and they're second in the East right now. So the Eagles can coast their way into a division-leading seed for the playoffs. It's going fine. I think probably where he's coming from is, when push came to shove or when things got bad, they would lean back in the offense, and I just don't think they're there yet. So A.J. Brown, I mean, do I want to sit there and believe it's coming from a good place and I can really help this team win? It's dude, they're winning. So what do you mean? There's nothing more you can do.
Right, exactly. Well, for anyone who doesn't know the latest and the greatest when it came to A.J. Brown, Wednesday morning, a video surfaced showing streamer Janky Rondo, which is a fantastic name, by the way.
Love that name, by the way.
Playing a game of Madden, and at one point he asked Brown if everything was going well. And Brown, quote, no. That's what Brown responded. He said, "Where have you been? Family is good. Everything else? No, it's a S show." And you can fill in the other letters. I'm not going to say it on this fine family program that we have called Game Night here on ESPN Radio and the all-new ESPN app. But basically, everything else is a blank show. And if you have A.J. Brown on your fantasy team, take him off. So for the longest, I was like, I don't even know if that was really A.J. Brown. Who knows? I mean, is he really up there playing Madden? But he had this to say in the locker room during availability about the comments about the offense.
I think that's fair. I think if you got eyes, you can see that. The same things I've been saying all season. So me making light of my situation on Twitch with my friend, that's something I'm not apologizing for. Because like I said, if you got eyes, you can see that. And so that's me trying to laugh through my situation. So yeah.
So I know it's him now. I mean, if I had a question, I don't after that. But again, man, I mean, it's if there's a team that can handle being uncomfortable and having uncomfortable type situations and maybe having a little edge and a little chill even in the locker room at times, I think it's the Eagles. And I think that's how Nick Sirianni kind of operates anyway. He's kind of that guy. But man, A.J. Brown really doesn't have any reason to be upset, man. They're winning games. They go to him. Nobody's really putting up some kind of huge fantasy, numbers outside of Jalen Hurts when they get to the 1-yard line and they give him the tush push and he gets in the end zone.
Right, and the thing is, so I was looking this up quick, too. So they played 9 games, right? Of the 9 games, A.J. Brown was the leading receiver in just 1 of those games. So that's where he's getting bothered, right? It's a lot of Devontae Smith. It's Dallas Goedert twice and all that. And then I looked, I'm like, well, A.J. Brown only has 2 games of 100 yards. And 1 game, he had 4 grabs for 121 and 2 touchdowns. It was just that Devontae Smith went off for $183 in that game. So it's you're having solid numbers here and there. It's not so bad. And Q, let me give you one other number. And the number is 96, because that's the 3-year, $96 million deal that A.J. Brown signed with the Eagles on an extension that's going to keep him there through 2029. So I really, listen, I understand that A.J. Brown wants the ball, but the 3 things any player would want, right? To win, to get paid, and then to contribute, right? Bro, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. You're winning. You're paid. You're good.
You should be.
You should be. You want to put those. If this dude was fighting for a contract at the end of the season, I'd say, okay, he wants some catches, he wants some yards and all that. Dude, you are well taken care of. It's fine. It ain't that bad. Everything's good. I don't understand this. I really don't.
Well, here's Nick Sirianni. I mean, because look, these kind of things could cause a distraction, right? One would think that maybe this becomes a distraction in the locker room. I said this is a team that I feel like is very comfortable with being uncomfortable. So, Nick, is it a distraction?
I say it was kind of business as usual with AJ. I mean, his latest comments, made it seem like it's not business as usual. How do you kind of reconcile that with him?
Yeah, guys, I'm close to being done answering these questions with this. He's working hard, and he is a big part of this game plan, and it'll be a big part of the game plan going forward. And he's working like crazy when he's here. And